Hey, what is up guys? So we are going to be doing a deck profile for the Masked Hero Structure Deck, aka the Hero Strike Structure Deck, which just came out today. And this is only going to be using 3 copies of the Structure Deck itself. That means no cards outside are allowed in this, simply because a lot of people, they just have 3 structure decks that don't have any outside Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We're going to be doing another deck profile later on using other cards that you can incorporate in this hero deck, but this deck profile specifically is just going to be covering 3 copies of the structure deck, because someone's going to be like, why don't you play MST? Well, it doesn't come in the structure deck, and some of the newer players, they only can get 3 copies of structure deck. But anyways, let's go ahead and finally get started. So we're playing 3 copies of Neos Alias, 2 copies of Honest, 3 copies of Shadow Mist, 3 copies of Bubbleman, and then Neospatian Granville for our last monster. Next up, we're playing 1 copy of Emergency E-Call, 3 copies of A Hero Lives, 3 copies of Reinforcements of the Army, 2 Righteous Justice. This is going to be similar to an MST in the deck, because the deck, of course, does not have MST because it didn't come with it. Next up, playing 1 Miracle Fusion, 1 Oversoul, 2 copies of Mass Charge, 1 Poly Duality, 3 copies of Mass Change, 2 copies of Form Change, and then 3 copies of Mass Change. It actually is number 2. It's called second right now, but it's going to be like 2 I's, 2 of the letter I's for the Roman numeral number 2. And then 1 Bottomless, 1 Hero Blast, 1 Compulse, 1 Call of the Haunted, and 2 copies of Summoner Mode. As far as the extra deck, it's 3 copies of everything that you get. Now, other cards I did consider were the Homunculus of the Alchemic Being. You can use this card because it changes the attributes, so you can use it with some of the changes, and it can actually help you out. Plus, it's a light, so it does work with Honest. I just didn't like how it was a plant. If it was a warrior, I might try one as a tech. You can try it yourself and see if you like it. But in the graveyard, if it was like, if this card was a wind, I'd probably main deck it, and then I could probably play more copies of Miracle Fusion. I wanted to play multiple copies of Miracle Fusion, but the way the deck plays is a super OTK based deck, and you don't essentially get your monsters into the grave quick enough. If Miracle Fusion was a quick play, maybe I could try it, but you don't actually make Kamikaze too often. I forgot, I think it's K's is the name in TCG, but anyways, he comes in the structure deck, so don't worry, it's not like you won't be able to find out the card's name. I also considered Card Trooper, but there wasn't really anything I could really like mill that would give me super benefits with. I mean, there was occasionally Mass Charge that I could get free benefits with, maybe Miracle, but Miracle doesn't work too well in here because you don't have enough targets. I really wish they gave you 1 Absolute Zero and 1 copy of like the Shining or something. That would make this deck much better. But again, we'll be making those decks later. I'll give you guys a deck profile for a better version, I would say, because this one is very limited because, of course, it's only using 3 copies of Structure Deck. Consider playing more Mass Charges, but I feel like this deck is a very all-in deck. Like, you go all-in. This deck is basically designed around OTKing. If you can hit your opponent once or twice with like an Alias, and then they attack you honest, then you could pretty easily have game most of the time. I really wish they gave you Acid. There's so many things I just wish that they gave you in the structure deck, because, like I said, it doesn't work too well as a standalone compared to just adding a bunch of like different cards, and it's pretty inexpensive anyways. But like I said, and you guys do want this, so I'm giving it to you guys. I was considering Polymerization, but I really didn't like Avian. I just wish they gave you Stratos and it was legal, but there's also Poly Duality, which I considered running multiple copies of. But the thing is, like, Summoner Monk is so key in most of your plays. It's more so just the ability to special summon Shadow Mist opens up most of your plays. I considered multiple Call of the Haunted, because this lets you get a free card. So even though Summoner Monk's effect, you're discarding a card, this goes ahead and re-adds back a card. So you're going neutral with it. And then also, Summoner Monk kind of just sits there as a floater, and if they don't get rid of it, then maybe you can activate its effect next turn. But basically, the deck revolves around getting out Dark Law as quickly as possible. If you guys watched on the stream, there were several duels where I made Dark Law turn 1, and then the guy just quit. Or he basically just sat there and literally could not do anything because he needed the graveyard for his effects, and if he's going to add anything, you're going to banish 1 random card out of their hand. It's a really awesome card, but again, it's more of a first turn than anything, and then after that, this deck kind of falls apart quickly if there's something that you can't get rid of. We're playing 1 copy of Hero Blast. Because I think it can work against certain decks. Things that, you know, summon small monsters, summon bigger monsters. If Alias is in the grave, you get to add back Alias, then destroy a face-up monster that has 1900 or less attack, basically, is what it comes down to. So it's like a +1, and it can disrupt plays, and I like it a lot. Compulse, pretty self-explanatory. This card, you can use it with Shadow Mist. More than likely, that's the card that you're going to be using it with. But you can also call the Haunted Honest and activate Honest effect and bring it back to your hand. Keep that in mind. For the most part, the most common card to pull out is Dark Law. You can bring out other things. That's why I decided, oh, we'll just play one Miracle. You know, Great Tornado is not that bad. I consider playing 3 copies of Miracle, because once one Great Tornado goes to the graveyard, you have access to just keep on, you know, having a win because the other Great Tornado dies. But if it gets bounced back, yeah, you can have problems. I mean, there's no reason why not to just run 3 of everything, because you can play 15 cards. But of course, if you have other cards, highly recommend you guys to take out other cards. Keep 2 Dark Law at least. You guys can swap it up with the other cards. You don't really make the other cards more than once. Generally, Dark Law is made more than once, but the rest, you can usually just get away with running 1 of. But of course, if you have room, why not play all of them? I considered Avian also. I also considered Hero Signal, because when a monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon 1 level 4 lower hero monster from your hand or deck, which can include this, which can then get you free cards, which was not a bad play, but I just felt like it was a little bit too slow. You had to wait, and the hero monster had to die by battle, and you know, sometimes things get destroyed by card effects, they get bounced back. It's just too slow in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! In order to be fast and keep up with the game, you gotta play the Hero Lives. You gotta go Hero Lives, get out the Shadow Mist, add the card, attack, mash change, attack again, mash second change, maybe even a form change, I don't know, depending on what you happen to have. The only thing I really didn't like with this structure deck was that they didn't give you like a Utopia, because there's so many times where I just wanted to exceed into something. Of course, like I said, we'll make another deck profile, but if you guys have any more suggestions for this, again, this is just the build using 3 copies of the structure deck. We'll make another build in the future that has, you know, much better options, but like I mentioned several times already in this video, it's just that some people only have 3 copies of structure deck. They're new to the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, so they don't have any extra cards to use. Oh, if you don't know what Oversoul does, because I didn't know what this card does, I had to like read every single card and then do the playtesting over the live stream, but this lets you special summon Neos Alias, because while he's in the graveyard, he counts as a normal monster. But while it's face up on the field, you can normal summon it again and it has an effect, but it's pretty much irrelevant anyways, most of the time. But yeah, Oversoul, we'll just bring this card back out, because it's just, Honest is such a good card, and if you're able to use it sometimes, you just get like 1 attack and maybe you summon this, and then they attack into you and you drop Honest. Next turn, you might be able to go summon Shadow Mist, attack with like everything you got, then you form change, mass change, and then you can just finish off the game from there. And Heroes can also do that if you happen to have a blank board also. But anyways, let me know you guys' thoughts on this, if you guys have any suggestions. Again, this one is just going to be using 3 copies of the structure deck, so if there's any cards that you felt like I missed out on that were really good, let me know in the comment section below. But anyways, thanks for watching, and have some fun playing Heroes, guys. This isn't going to be the most competitive way to play Heroes, and I don't even think Heroes at its best would compete against the stuff. So it's more so a fun deck, and you can definitely win against the higher tier decks. You're just going to have to open up pretty optimally and be able to just swarm as fast as you can. Well, it's not necessarily swarm, just keep on changing the hero's mask and just keep on attacking them, and then hopefully you can beat them down faster than they can respond to. Oh, another thing, these are masked heroes. They don't work with this card, because this is elemental hero. Someone mentioned that on the stream. They're like, why didn't you just activate this to destroy the back row? I couldn't, because these are masked heroes. This is only when elemental, it only destroys spell and trap cards up to the number of face-up elemental hero cards. You can run multiple copies of this if you want. You can swap out the build. Like I said, if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section below. But thanks for watching, guys. Azneyes signing out.